Good morning, everyone. This is the Wednesday lesson for numbers up to 100,000. So it's building on the learning that we've done about knowing numbers up to 10,000. I'm just going in 10 times higher now. So you would notice on the place value charts that we've got the new column here, which is the tens of thousand column. Before we were just working with the thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So it starts off relatively simple. What we're looking at is what number is represented in this place value chart. Remember, the way to work that out is just to count how many counters are in each column, and that is the number. So you've got 6 in the tens of thousands column, and so on, and you write your number there. And then see if you can write that number in Word as well. For B, Teddy is just adding 2 counters to the tens column, which is this one. So what is the new number that Teddy has? So once you add 2 to that column, how does that change the whole number? And question number 2, we've got another one here where we've got different counters in the different place value columns. What's the new number? And write that number in words as well. Then Nidja adds 2 counters to the thousands column, this one, and also 1 counter to the tens column there. So what is the new number? Now just be careful there, because when you've got 2, add 2 to this column, you've then got 10. So what do you have to do? You've got 10 in one column. See if you can remember. Also, when you add 1 to this column, you get 10 in that column too. So something else changes. Have a quick think about that one. For question 3, you've got to then put the counters into the place value columns. So you've got the number 416. Where would the counters go there? And then in the other one, you've got 22,305. Where would the counters go in each of those columns? For number 4, they're using the bar model methods, which we've looked at in class. So remember, in a bar model, the total is at the top. Most of the time, the total is written at the top. It is in these examples. Sometimes they put it at the bottom, but don't worry too much. Usually it's at the top. And then what's below adds up to what's on top. So for this question here, it's asking you, what do you have to add to 67,000 to make 67,611? What would go in that box there? Similar thing here. We've changed it around a bit. So you've got 8,000 there. What more do you need to make that? You could also do a takeaway. So you could do this, take away that, and that will give you this one here. Here you've got these 2. So you add those together and then you get what's on top. And then you go back to what we've been doing before, where you've got the answer already. You've got one of the numbers. So if you take that away from that, you get what's in there. Then they're doing a bit of partitioning. So they're breaking the numbers down into number sentences. So 42,000, what is that equal to? So that's the same as something plus 2,000. Then you've got 17,250. So that is broken down to 10,000, something, something, and 50. What 2 numbers would go in there? So it's breaking it down into the tens of thousands, thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones, or in different ways. For question 6, you're trying to find 2 5-digit numbers that have 6 in the thousands place. So in that thousands column, there needs to be a 6. The other numbers, you can decide what you want them to be. It could be anything. So you need 2 different numbers there. And then you're writing 2 4-digit numbers that have 6 in the thousands place. That's the same place, different kinds of numbers. 5-digit, 2-digit. 4-digit. For number 7, you've got a number line. So let's use these numbers to add labels to the number line. So you've got your number line there. Some things are represented. So you've got the 30,000 this side, 35,000 in the middle, 40,000 this side. So maybe first step, what do each of those represent, each of these divisions? And then think, where do those numbers go? So the easier ones to put in would be these 2, because they should be straight on a line. These 2 will be halfway between lines because they've got the 500 there. For B, you want to write these numbers on the number line. So you've got the numbers written here. And then you've got your number line, so it's from 40,000 to 60,000. Again, it's the best practice is to try and think, what do these divisions represent? Now, if you count up those divisions, you've got 20 divisions. which means each division is worth 1,000. So that will help you with that one. And then finally, this is just an estimate. Where do you think the number 2,360 would go on that number line? You've got from 2,000 to 3,000. Where would that number go on that number line? Maybe think, what number would go in the middle? What number would go in the middle between 2,000 and 3,000? And then that might help you figure out where that number would go. Okay, I hope it's been helpful. And I'll see you, well, you can see me or hear me for the next lesson.